how to treat for gophers using Omega strychnine gopher bait. Stuff that works. Probably have to find that. Here at Ukaipa City Parks, having a gopher problem in the lawn. Show you before and after photos of the treatment. Here we go. Got some good, pretty big gopher activity. You probe all the way around the tunnel till you feel the pole drop down anywhere from a foot to 3 feet. So he's got a pretty good hole there. So he's going to go ahead and inject the bait. If you're not hitting any holes, you don't want to inject any bait. The animals, dogs, birds will get to and may harm some of the animals. Knock over the tunnels after we're done, the mounds, and that way you'll be able to see what's left when we come back in a week to do the secondary treatment. You'll see any new pop outs and know where to treat for the new activity versus the old activity. Found another tunnel here.
The nest.
It's a pretty big area that the gopher's taken over, which is probably an indication that it's trying to nest in this area and dig out some chambers to sleep in and store their food. That's a good deep tunnel there. You get them in those deep tunnels and you're not going to have any problems with the dogs digging down and getting the bait. If you put the gopher bait down the tunnel that he pops out of, usually they'll just kick it right back out and you'll end up killing off the birds and hurting your dog, those type of things. And that's why this bait is injected into the major runway tunnel, which is anywhere from 2-3 feet down into the ground. The rest of the tunnels are sub-tunnels and are not preferable to put the bait into.
Tell them also you got to cover up the holes because they will bury their bait if they see light on it.
Yeah, any holes that you do make with the probe need to be filled in. Gophers do not like light when they're eating the bait. The other important thing is the pole that we're using dispenses about a teaspoon per turn. The trick to these gophers is getting a proper amount of bait in. If you put in a pound of bait into one hole, it's not going to be as effective as putting 1 ounce spot treatments, 2 to 3 feet apart. Versus
the horseshoe.
This is your horseshoe right here of the hole. You can see this is where the gopher plugged the hole. This is the kick out. So when you look, the gopher is actually going to be coming out this way. So this is where you're going to find his tunnel. And that's why the probe goes in real easy when you hit right there. So with the 2-3 turns, we're getting about 2-3 teaspoons per treatment, which is recommended for killing off the gopher infestations in a high gopher activity area. Stuff that you can buy at Home Depot. The problem is you do need this pole to be able to get the bait in the right spot. If you don't get the bait into those runway tunnels, they're going to kick it out and you're going to cause the dogs to get hurt when you're using Home Depot baits and stuff. They are not as effective as, say, this Omega gopher bait, which is active ingredients of strychnine, which actually will, pretty powerful bait. It doesn't take a whole lot to be able to take down that gopher. Just like this side of that horseshoe is always where he's going to be coming from when you see that dirt kick out. It's like boom, 2 to 3 feet down that pole drops, and that's your good treatments there. You got to kind of imagine if you're a gopher dick going through the holes, you're picking up on the bait as you go around. You're not running into a 2-pound pile of bait. The more you can make it resemble their natural eating habits, the better off chances you are going to be with taking care of these gophers. Quite a lot of holes here is the city park. We do have the baseball fields. tennis courts. Basically stopping kids and people from coming out here and breaking their ankles on all these holes and indentions in the ground. It is why the city does pay to have this done, to reduce the liabilities of the kids getting hurt playing the sports games and the public out here. These are all public parks, which actually allow dogs on all these parks. So your proper treatment of getting that bait down is really important when you're dealing with the public. These are what you call a feeder hole, and you notice there's no tunnel, no dirt kick out. All you do see is that he has plugged up these old holes, and what that tells you is these are old runways that have already been dug out from previous golfers. Due to them being previously dug out, they don't have to kick out any dirt. All they have to do is come by and block the sunlight by plugging up all these old holes, and they have a fully operational runway. These golfers can move about a ton of dirt, 1,000 pounds of dirt per year, which is quite a lot of dirt. Another good example of these old runways being taken over. These are their feeder holes, and you'll notice the grass is all taken out around there. And these golfers will pop their head out and grab these grass blades and actually bring them down into the tunnel system as a nesting. They mainly feed on the root systems of plants, but they do use these grass blades for nesting materials and make their chambers down there underneath the ground. You want to go ahead and see if you can probe down 2 to 3 feet on these feeder tunnels to get into a major runway. Now, if you're only probing and it only goes down a couple inches, do not apply the bait. It becomes a hazard instead of helpful for getting rid of your golfers. Safety is your #1 priority when you're using a strychnine bait. The bait is a danger product, which you do not want to let kids get a hold of, and that's why it is kind of the best bet to hire a professional when it comes to golfers. When you're dealing with a danger product and a strychnine bait, it actually has a scent on it like root beer, and if kids get a hold of this stuff, it actually quite resembles a candy bean, bright blue and smelling like root beer. So having this kind of thing stored in your garage is a big liability. Pets are attracted to it, and kids may mistake this stuff for candy. So that's why we do recommend that you have a professional treat when you're treating for golfers or anything that's using a strychnine danger product, and not have it stored in your home. If you do choose to store it in your home, it's best to have it in a locked metal closet that kids can't get into. Just don't recommend taking those risks, because as a pest control company, we keep that in a commercial property locked where kids and people can't get to it. That's inspected by the state of California.